Oh, I know where it is. I know where it is. Remember, I told you guys I was going to share with you about what would be some of the questions if an agent was doing field underwriting, and there's really only 5 questions that they really need to ask, and then they can get a good idea. You guys remember that?
Yes.
So here it is. I got it for you guys. So basically, the 5 things that you would want to know if you're, meeting someone or you're an agent, you're selling, basically tobacco history, because we know that tobacco history is huge and the premium could be substantial. And we had talked in the past that if an insured is honest with you and tells you, yes, I smoke a cigar, once every month, or whatever the situation is, that will determine what is the best fit carrier. Because there are carriers that if you have an occasional cigar and there's nicotine in your urine, you will still get non-smoker rates. Now, you might not get preferred non-smoker rates, but you'll still get non-smoker rates, which is substantially different than as if you were to write it with another carrier that's right off the bat is going to give you preferred smoker. Okay?
Okay.
So 5 questions are pretty much in the last 2 years, have you used any form of tobacco? So that's cigarettes, chewing, hookah, whatever it is that people are smoking these days. So as far as tobacco, I don't know of any carrier, anybody that smokes a cigarette, even if it's just one a week, they consider that person, all the carriers consider that person a cigarette user. They might be in denial, they might be considered a closet smoker, but the way that they look at that is that if you can smoke 1 cigarette a week or 1 cigarette a month, the likelihood of you picking up that habit is more likely than unlikely, okay? So that's why they would tack on, even if you only have 1 cigarette and you're admitted and you're honest and 1 cigarette a month, you're still going to get smoker rates because of, cigarettes. That's a whole different thing than a hookah or a cigar. In the past 5 years, have you been to or been treated by any facility other than for a routine physical? So what we're looking for here is, have you been seeing a cardiologist? Have you been seeing a dermatologist? Is there some kind of underlining, something going on with you? Yes.
It means routine physician means apart from the PCP visit or regular well exam visits, if we meet any specific specialty or super specialty that we need to mention here.
Right, exactly. Because, a lot of people, and you'll get this if you ever talk to agents or whatever, and they'll always say, it's classic, always say, well, I saw him and he looks healthy to me. I mean, that just, blows me away every time that they say that. And I guarantee it. If you ever talk to an agent, you will get that, well, I can't believe that he has diabetes, or he's a marathon runner, or, things aren't what they look like, right? You got a pretty package, pretty bow on it, and it might be pretty on the outside, but, the individual might or might not know what's going on the inside. And this is how you carve down and figure out what is the best fit carrier and what premium class that this individual would be looking at. So if he's been going to a dermatologist and, you ask, okay, well, what are you going to the dermatologist for? Oh, because I'm getting these, skin tags removed, or I had some, sun damage. So that tells you there could be a possibility of a melanoma or, something precancerous. So that's why they ask for this question. Above and beyond your routine physical, are you seeing any type of a treatment doctor facility? Have you ever been to urgent care hospitals, meaning like, you only go to urgent care in a hospital if something, you got your arm chopped off or you're having a heart attack or something really bad, right? So for you to go to a hospital or urgent care in the last 5 years, there's got to be a good reason. So that's where they're trying to get the information to better assess the case. Another good question is, are you taking any medication? that will tell you as an agent or, anybody trying to get insurance, if they're taking, high blood pressure medication and it's controlled, possibly a carrier isn't going to give them a super preferred, but there are, the carrier that they're applying for, that's the carrier they're going to apply for, and they're just going to get preferred, even though it's controlled and everything. But there are carriers, if it's controlled and they're, honest with taking their medication and everything's great, they could potentially get super preferred. So that's where we dive down deeper to figure out what is the best carrier. Some agents just write the same carrier over and over, and then they have to shift it to another carrier, which is a lot of work. And in the end, the agent has to fill out a new application and go all that. Okay? So medications. Next, height and weight. Yes, the person looking at them might be, but who knows? They could be considered their BMI, body mass index, could be, over where they wouldn't be able, that could potentially be rated or other than super preferred. Another huge one is family history. People do not realize or take into consideration that if a mother or father, and in some instances, siblings, your immediate family, that if they had a heart attack or some type of cancer, that could preclude them from getting super preferred. So if you have a mother that was diagnosed, let's say, with some type of heart failure at, let's say, 55, and she died at age 60, and here I am, I'm applying for life insurance, and I'm 70 years old. I've beat my mother. Do you think they're going to hold that against that person?
Yes, normally, because if the mother is having that particular element, there is more possibility of his